Let's take a look at number 1 in section 9.1. It's multiple choice, not just multiple guess. So make sure you understand how you would do this on the test. Select the function which is the solution of the following differential equation. Now, you could solve this one using separation of variables, okay? But in general, you may have a differential equation that you can't solve. So how would you proceed? Remember, you can simply, in this case, find the derivative of your given function, plug in the function in the derivative, and make sure that this equation is satisfied in the sense of an identity, right? That it is an identity true for all values of x in the domain of this function. So let's take a look and see. There are several ones given. This is actually the one that is the solution. It was y equal the square root of 10 minus 6x squared. Again, your differential equation might be slightly different, and therefore your options for the solution are going to vary accordingly. So I'm going to find the derivative of this function. I'm going to write this, of course, as 10 minus 6x squared to the 1/2 power. I'm going to use chain rule. Outer function is u to the 1/2, if you remember. So I'm going to take the derivative of the outer function, 1/2 u to the negative 1/2, where u is this inner function, and then remember times the derivative of that inner function. And the derivative of 10 minus 6x squared is 0 minus 12x, or negative 12x. Cleaning this up, 1/2 times negative 12 is negative 6. I get negative 6x, and then all this stuff to the negative 1/2 becomes all this stuff to the positive 1/2 down here, or to the square root. So there's the derivative. And now I'm just going to plug in, right? Y is this thing here. This is the y, and this is the y prime. All right, and notice what happens here. And you got y times y prime plus 6x equals 0. Notice what happens. The square roots here, right, cancel out essentially, and you just get negative 6x here. And what is negative 6x plus 6x? It's 0. So for all values of x, this equation will be true. It's an identity. So this indeed is the solution. Now, what's going to happen with some of the others? I didn't do all of them, but here's some of the other choices given. Here's one, just the square root of 6 minus x squared, which is written this way. Very similar to what we did above. The derivative by the chain rule of this is 1/2 u to the negative 1/2. The derivative of the inner function this time is just negative 2x. Cleaning this up, 1/2 times negative 2x gives me negative x. All this stuff I can write this way again. And then if I plug this now into the differential equation, y is this, y prime is this, plus 6x equals 0. And notice when I multiply these cancel, leaving negative x. Well, negative x plus 6x just gives me 5x. Now, 5x equals 0 has a solution, right? X is 0. That's true, but that is only true if x is 0. We want it true for all values of x. It's not an identity. So therefore, this is not a solution to the differential equation. I did a couple other options, and they're all very similar. I mean, the functions they give you are all very similar. Here's another one. When you take the derivative here, right, you get the inner function derivative is negative 20x. Cleaning that up, I get this. This time when I plug in and multiply y times y prime, I get negative 10x plus 6x gives me negative 4x equaling 0. When I plug in, this is again true for x equals 0, but not an identity, not true for all values of x, obviously. So again, that's not a solution. And I did one more of the options, very similar here. When you find the derivative and you plug in, this time when you multiply, you get negative 60x plus 6 is negative 54x. Again, not an identity. So you can do the other ones as well, but that's the way in general you would do these problems if indeed you could not solve the differential equation itself. Okay, hope this helps. I'm going to do number 2 as well, which is very similar in the next video.